Hi everyone. In this short webinar, I am going to demonstrate video capture powered by GoReact from the instructor view, and I will cover both the self-submit as well as the live event options. So to start, when you go into your Connect login with McGraw-Hill, you will go to the Add Assignment section. You will select Video Capture, and from here, the Instructor Assignment portal will come up. You have two options. You can choose between Self-Submit or Live Event. Self-Submit allows students to upload speech recordings that they may have done using separate devices. It also allows them to record using their laptop or their desktop as well. And then Live Event allows you as an instructor to have students in an online class who all log in at the same time and present their speeches to each other, and their classmates serve as their virtual audience. Or you can also use the live event in your in-person classes, and you can record the speeches in class live while they are being presented, and classmates can go online and do peer critiques live during the speech, and you as an instructor can also grade live during the speech. So as you are setting up the assignments, you just decide which one you want, and then you click Next, and this will take you to the details section. So on here, you can put in instructor feedback to the students as far as instructions on how to upload or record or whatever it is that you use for your assignment. You also have the ability as an instructor to create video instructions, which provides that same feedback to students as far as what they need to do, just in a video format. You can activate the option for students to be able to upload a slide deck when they upload their speech. And then over here, same thing. This is for when students do a self or peer review. You can insert instructions or feedback to the students on what they need to do. You also have the option to do it via video. And then down below, you can decide, do you want the student to do peer critiques? And then if you want to make comments public, you can do that. And then use ratings is not something that is going to be active in the live version of GoReact or Video Capture powered by GoReact in the fall. And then you have your markers and your rubrics. So we'll start with the markers. And these are essentially, as it says, a quick way to give feedback to your students using text snippets. So essentially, if you look at the set of markers that I've created, and I'll put the edit so you can see how you can change them, these are commonly used feedback that I often give to students. So instead of having to type this out every time a student does it, I can just create these little markers, and you can create whatever you want for your markers, and you can add and delete as much as you want as well. And I'll show you how these work when you're actually grading a speech. And then you also have rubrics. You have one that you can create for you as the instructor and one that you create for students to use when they're either doing a self-critique or a peer critique. When you click on the rubric button, it allows you to create a new rubric, or you can go into existing rubrics that you may have already created. So I'll go into an existing rubric and attach it. If you want to see what it looks like, you can click Edit, and you will see here that I have made this grading rubric, and it automatically adds up the points based on the scales that you use. And you'll see over here on the left that you can choose which type of element that you want to have in your rubric. So you can do a Likert scale, and you just drag and drop it over. Or you can do a text box. You can do checkbox items. Essentially, it's as simple as dragging and dropping. And once you drag it over or drop it over, you then can go through and give each section a title or a description. You can control the numbers in the Likert scale. You can control the corresponding words to go with the Likert scale. So you have complete flexibility over your grading rubric that you create. And once you create it, it will be housed here so you can just use it for future iterations of your speech assignment. And then if you want to take the rubric out, you can just remove it. And then you can go back in to add it by simply selecting the grading rubric from the list that you have here. And you do also have the ability to delete grading rubrics if there's one that you don't want. So we'll select the grading rubric, click OK, and that is essentially it. You can also select one for the students if you choose, and then you are done. And then now you will create the name of the assignment, when it is available, when it is due, and how many points it is worth. So essentially right here, so we'll just call this sample speech. When it's going to be available, we'll just say, make up some days and times here, and how many speeches or points it's going to be worth. But I would recommend that you make sure the score that is here is the same number of points as your grading rubric. And then you click Assign, and now your speech is in your portal, and you can sync it over to your learning management system, whether that be Canvas or Blackboard. Now keep in mind, as I demo this, I'm actually in a beta version of VideoCapture powered by GoReact, so there may be a few screens that you see that you will not see when you actually use this. And to not cause confusion, I just don't mention those screens, so that way you aren't confused later on. All right, so now it's time to grade. So as an instructor, when I'm ready to grade, I will look for the speech assignment that is created in Connect, and I will go in, I'll click Grade Student Submissions, and this will take me to my grading portal. And here it will list all of the student speeches that have been submitted, the ones that are ungraded and the ones that are graded. And essentially when I'm ready to grade a speech, I'll simply click on the video, and once I click on it, it takes me directly into the grading portal. Now, I went ahead and paused the video for a second so I can show you what's going on here. So over here, this is where you would type in your comment, and then all of them will appear up above, timestamped, based on when you put them in the video. Also, all of the markers that you created will appear here, and you can just simply click on a marker to add it into the student feedback, and it will timestamp. You also have the option as an instructor to do video feedback as well as audio feedback. And then you see you can also upload items, links to YouTube, etc. So when you are ready to grade, you just simply start the video, watch the speech video, and as you start to type a comment, you'll notice that the video automatically stops. And then when you hit the Enter key when you're finished, the video restarts. So essentially, as you grade the speech, anytime you start making comments, it will stop the video, and then it will restart it when you hit Enter. And you can also add in your markers whenever you want them. Now, all of the feedback the student gets from the instructor and from the peers will appear timestamped in this one screen. So as students start to critique each other's speeches, you may see that student feedback on here as well. And then once you have left your comments and your markers, you can go up to your rubrics button, and now you can grade the speech based on the rubric. You'll notice I didn't do any text boxes in this rubric because I personally don't want them since I'm leaving comments directly in the video. So essentially, once I've graded the speech using my rubric, I'll just go with this. You click Post Rubric. It sends the grade to the Grade Center, and then it will sync with whatever learning management system you're using. And then when you click Done, it'll take you back to the portal, and now that speech has been moved to Graded. Now, if you want to see a report of student activity, you can go up here to View Report, and this will show you all of the students. It'll show you the number of videos they've critiqued, as well as how many comments they've left, average length of those comments, how many they've presented, the markers they used, scores. This is a downloadable sheet. You can go to Excel. This is a good way to help come up with your grades for yourself and your peer critique because you can see what kind of progress that they've made without having to go through each individual critique. So that is essentially how you grade a self-submit speech, regardless of whether they upload a previously recorded document or whether they record using the camera in their computer at the same time. Now, the other option is the live event. So essentially, you're going to use a live event. Let's say that you have an online class and you have 8 students in your class calling in, or not calling in, but logging in all at the same time. And they all are going to present their speeches to each other and virtually and give feedback live. So to do that, you would go into your live event, You would click Grade Student Submissions, and then essentially you're going to see a place marker for all of the students that are in your class. And once a student starts the video recording on their end, this right here where it says join will flash red, and that gives you the indication that the student is ready to go. You can click join and it will take you to the grading portal. Now if you click join too early, it's going to warn you that the presentation has not yet begun. But I just clicked on it so you can see it is going to show you the video on the left, and then you'll have the ability to do feedback and markers on the right. Now with this one, when you leave comments, it will not stop the video since the video is live. So it will just timestamp them as you go, but it won't actually stop the video. So that is what that looks like. And then let's say you are going to use the live event option for an in-person section. You would need to have a camera hooked up to your computer, and when you're ready to go, you would find the student who's up presenting in front of the class. Let's say that's going to be Bella Rose. You would click the start button on your computer, and that essentially will start the live event process for an in-person class. Now keep in mind, you may see it say run Adobe Flash. That will not be there later on. That is going to be corrected. You might also get some pop-ups that make sure that you enable your audio and video as well. But once you're ready to start the recording, you would click the record button, and then you can add comments and markers as you go. Now, one thing different here, if you're doing this live in an in-person class, the video will actually be paused. That way you're not distracted by the video while it's going on live in the class. And then same thing as what you would do in an online event if you were doing peer critique. If your students are peer critiquing live in the class, they would pull up the portal on their computer screen, and let's say Bella Rose is presenting. Once you start the video, the join will flash red. The students click join, and then they will be able to do their peer critique comments and markers based on how you set them up in that particular class. And again, you can go back in here as an instructor even after the fact and add comments and adjust your grading rubric just like you would using the other format. Once all that is completed, it will send a grade directly to the grade center. So for example, if I was grading Alicia Ballard during her speech, I got all of my comments in, I got all the markers in. If I wasn't quite finished and I wanted to go back later, I could just click done and then go back in later and finish my comments, finish my markers, and also do the grading rubric. And then once you submit the grade in the grading rubric, that will then go to the learning management system. So in a nutshell, that is video capture powered by GoReact using both self-submit and the live event. Keeping in mind live events can be used for both an online class with a virtual audience or in an in-person class with everyone in the room at the same time.